Hello, Assalamu alaikum guys. Today we are going to be start with our third chapter, that is about the stairs and the staircases. So what we are going to be discuss in this chapter, we will see in the table of contents. Here the topics that we will going to be discuss in this chapter are enlisted below. That is, first of all, we are going to be discuss the definitions of different terms regarding the stair and the staircases. Then we will going to be study about specifications and considerations for the proportioning of the stairs. And then we will going to be discuss about the requirements of a good stair, type of the stairs, and numerical regarding the proportioning of the stairs with respect to the different dimensions and different aspects. And we are going to be discuss one by one these topics. So start with the definitions. The definitions that we will discuss one by one here are listed. These are 13 definitions and terminologies regarding the stair and the staircase, or stairwell or stairway. These are the different terms are going to be used for a staircase mainly. So you can use just the name stair, you can use the staircase, stairwell or the stairway. Then the next definition: flight, tread and rise, going or run, steps, landing, balusters and balustrade, handrail, navel or the navel post, soffit, flyers and winders, pitch or slope, waist slab. So start with the first definition for stair and the staircase, or stairwell or stairway. So it's simply a building component which provide access from floor to floor is called stair. The space occupied by the stair in a building is called as staircase or stairwell or stairway. So you are well familiar with the stairs. Okay, so that is not a new term for you. So what are the stairs in every building? Not only the residential building but also the commercial buildings, along with the other you can say from floor to floor moving or accessing type of the components. The stairs are the must and the compulsory components. Okay, so you may have the lift to move or to access from floor to floor, or you may have the escalators for this purpose, and the stairs also. But most commonly mean to say that the stairs, you can skip the escalators, you can skip the lifts, but you cannot skip the stairs. So in any case, the stairs are always there, and staircases are needed to be designed for one type of the building. Okay, so this is, you can say, a simple, a mechanical way or the physical way that is going to be used to move, to access the one floor to the other floor, to move from one floor to the other floor. Okay, so in this way, this stairwell, there are lot of consideration points, lot of you can say things to be considered, points to be considered while designing or proportioning a staircase. Okay, so staircase is, or this stairwell, that is actually the space occupied by the stairs. So that will be in 3 dimensions. So you may have a certain, you are going to be decide about a certain height for the stairs. Finally, you are moving from one point to the other point, you are accessing one point to the other. So from the ground floor to the first floor, or from first floor to the second floor, from second to third, and likewise. So you need a certain space in a height, and you need a certain space in width, and you need a certain space in back and the length. So in this way, the 3 dimensions are needed for to design or to specify the space occupied by the stair, that is called a stairwell or a stairway. Okay, so all of these things are very important, and majorly the considerational points, or the points you are going to be, things you are considering during the proportioning and design of a staircase, based upon the requirement and comfort of the residents of the building or occupants of the building, that is going to be directly related with their requirements. So we have to be keep this thing in our mind, that what are the requirement and the purpose of the building is. Okay, so depending upon these 1 or 2 3 major factors, the specifications or the considerations can be changed. So you have to be very careful. Then you may have the flight. So flight is a series of the steps without an intervening platform is called as flight. Okay, in the next slide we will see a figure that it will be very easier. So if you are going to be see or going to be observe the stairs, so let's suppose it's one, you can say, stairs are going up, and in between you may have a certain platform. Okay, so here in the cross section we can see. So if you are moving up with the stairs, along with the stairs, so you are coming on this platform. So this is the last stair and this is the first stair, or the steps of the stair. So you are moving from first step to the second step, then third step, and so on, coming to this particular platform. So you are not at the floor level. Okay, you are just at the mid of the height to the floor. So here you may have the turning of the flight. So in this way, mean at 180 degrees, or at the back 90 degree in the lateral direction, you may have again a staircase, or in bifurcating type, meaning in the other this direction also. In both of the directions you may have the stairs. Okay, so it depends upon the type of the stair, the design of the stair, that which type or kind of the stair you are deciding. I mean, geometry mainly matters a lot. So in which direction you are just going to be turning the flight. Okay, but so if continuously without you can say a break, you are moving ahead with the steps, so this complete form or number complete set of the steps for one stair, or the, you can say, a part of the stair, total staircase, is going to be called as flight. Then tread and the riser. Tread and rise. So it's very simple thing. The tread is an horizontal component of one step of the stair, and rise is the vertical component. Okay, so if this is the one step of the stair, then this is the tread, and this vertical one is the riser. This is tread. Usually in numerical problems or in proportioning, we are going to be represent it with capital T, and rise as capital R. Okay, so vertical side or vertical dimension of the step of a stair, one step of the stair, is called as rise, and the horizontal component is going to be, or horizontal side or dimension is called as tread. So the horizontal surface of the step is tread. The vertical surface of the step is known as riser or rise. A step is a combination of tread and riser. Okay, so if you are going to be combined one tread and one riser, you will are going to be having one complete step of a stair. Then comes going or run. The horizontal distance between any two adjacent risers is called as going or run. Okay, so this is simply the distance, like the tread, or you can say the dimension of the tread is called as going or run. The horizontal distance between any two adjacent riser is called as going or run. So this is the one step. Okay, so in one flight, let's suppose, so this is one riser and this is the second riser. So the first one and second one, two consecutive one. These are the vertical distances. So the horizontal distance between these two, mean the tread dimension, is called as going or run. Then comes step. So we already have been defined it, that the combination of the tread and riser is called as step. Then comes landing. This is the break in between the flights. Okay, that is the horizontal platform provided between the two flights is called as landing. Okay, as what I told you, that if one flight is there, so this flight is continuing, but after the certain number of the steps in a flight, one person or any user of this flight or this step, these stairs needed to be rest at least. Okay, so if we are going to be deciding our flight, mean our stairs between the ground floor, let's suppose, to the first floor, this is one thing. So this generally the distance between the top of the finished floor level of the ground floor, finished floor level from here till the finished floor level of the first floor. This is also finished floor level. Okay, so you are familiar with this thing. So if you are going to be start with the first step, it starts from the finished floor level of one floor, and then the last tread is ending at the finished floor level of the first floor. So in between you may have the slab thickness, the finished floor finishes that you are providing in terms of tiles, in terms of any concrete floor or any other thing. Okay, any technique you can provide, any method or the material you can provide for the floor finishes. So this is the thickness of the floor finishes. Then you may have the actual slab, concrete slab, and then you have the ceiling height, the ceiling level. So this is the bottom level. So from the from the finished floor level of any floor till the bottom of the roof slab, it is called as ceiling height. It is called as ceiling height. Then comes the ceiling height till the top of the finished floor level. Okay, so the in between, the bottom one not going to be included. So your step starts for one staircase from the finished floor level of one floor till the finished floor level of the consecutive floor. Okay, so this is going to be give you let's suppose if the convenient you can say the riser dimension is not going to be taken as more than 6 inches. For most of the cases, the convenient and the most comfortable dimension for the riser considered as to be 6 inches, generally used in the house. But for the commercial buildings and mainly for the hospitals, it kept as 4 inches or 5 inches, less than that, just to make it more convenient. So maximum is 6 inches. If it will be more than 6 inches, then it will be little bit inconvenient to be move up for the users. So we are going to be take it as 6 inches. So if this is the case, then this generally the ceiling height kept at as 10 to 14 feet. Generally 10 is the very least, generally 12 to 14 feet. So let's suppose if you are considering it as 12 in an average, the ceiling height. Okay, ceiling height is from the finished floor level of the first floor till the ceiling height, and you are adding this slab thickness into it, and floor finishes mean half of it, almost 6 inches and more than that. So let's suppose 13 total. I'm rounding it up. Okay, so total is 13 feet. So for this 13 feet, if you are providing the 6 inch riser, so what do you think that how many number of steps you will get? For one riser it's 6, for the second one it will be 12 or the 1 feet. Okay, mean double than that. So 13 multiplied by 2, if 6 inch riser is there, so it will be 26 number of steps. So 26 number of steps are much more larger in number, so it will be very inconvenient for one user to go up in without a break. Okay, without resting at a certain platform. If only one flight has been provided, so first of all it is going to be needing a lot of space in the length dimension, because the tread dimension kept as 1 foot generally. So more than 1 and less than 1 is okay, average is 1 foot. So if this is the case, then the total number of the steps are 13. So 13 foot is required for the staircase in length wise dimension. Okay, so this dimension is much more for the stairwell. So generally we prefer the smaller dimensions, length and width, that square box we are going to be recommended to be occupied by the stairs in a building. Okay, so let's suppose if it will be that box comes out to be 13 feet into this, so it will be a square kind of and giving a more length as compared to the width. So this is also not recommended in that particular way, that you are going to be divide your total flight for the number of you are going to be divide your number of steps in different flights. Okay, so it is going to be required a certain break or certain resting place for the users once you are dividing your flights into different steps. Okay, so for this particular case you are providing the landing. So landing is a proper slab that you are going to be cast, if of concrete, if of bricks. So a particular design is required for the landing because it is going to be occupy the weight of the occupants and the user. So this is going to be called as landing. So here is the diagram that is going to show you the tread, the vertical component, riser, and the strings. For a wooden type of the staircase, you need a certain supporting element, okay, just to be connect all of this particular side that is going to be having a contact with the wall. So here let's suppose if the wall is there, so before the wall it is going to be requiring a connecting component, and this connecting component that is going to be connect your all of the steps with the wall is called as string, okay. So this is specifically for the wooden staircase. Then you may have the naval post and balusters. So we are going to be discuss, and also the handrail. We are going to be discuss these definitions in coming slides. So balusters and balustrades. The vertical member provided between the steps and the handrail are called as balusters, and the framework of the handrail and balusters is called as balustrade. Okay, so the vertical members. This is your stair. Here you have the steps. Okay, so if you are going to be moving up, so you need a vertical component as a supporting element for the users. So what they can do, the users can be put their hand on the rails provided above the balusters, connecting all of the balusters with each other. Okay, so this is going to be the only this vertical component is called as baluster, and the component or that is a combination, I mean all the combined framework of handrail and balusters. So this is going to be called as handrail, this inclined component. So in certain times this is can be doubled. It depends upon the design of the balustrade. You may provide the bracing for these balusters, okay, cross bracings or the horizontal bracings. So all of this framework, including the handrail, including the balusters, including the component you are providing for the stability of the balusters, are going to be called as balustrade. Okay, then comes handrail. So handrail, as I've told you, the inclined member. It is the inclined member at convenient height for the users. So generally it kept equal to 3 feet, providing the safeguard to the user, okay, just to be make it easier and convenient for the users to be climbed up the stairs. Then there will be naval and the naval post. That's what I told you. It is also a baluster, but it is a thicker baluster provided at start and turning and end of the stair. It is called as naval or the naval post. It is the same baluster, but that particular baluster, if you have been observed, even for the metal staircase, whether those will be the like your concrete staircase or wooden, any material be there, but you have been observed this thing that one baluster at the start of this total combination in balustrade, the supporting component, and at the turning point and at the end. Okay, turning of the flight mean from the start of the landing and end of the landing, start of the next flight and end of the first flight. So though you are going to be observed that this baluster has been provided with the larger dimension and the stronger one as compared to intermediate balusters. Okay, so these one, the starting, at ending and at in between, mean at turning, those are going to be called as naval or the naval post. Soffit. The under surface of the stair is called as soffit. So this bottom one, okay. So if you see from the bottom, so this inclined stair, you can say you may have the flight. So the under surface of the flight is going to be called as soffit. Then comes flyers and winders. So in many of the cases you have seen the steps of the uniform width are called as flyers, and the steps of the non-uniform width are called as winders. So generally for the spiral type of the stairs, or 1 or 2 steps at the start or at the end of one flight or one stair can be provided as winders. So winders are like you are going to be having the different, due to the less spacing, 1 or 2 steps you can provide, and at the turning, let's suppose like this is the turning of spiral turning of the staircase. So first two steps you can provide at the turn like this. Okay, so this one is the straight, but here at turning these are the non-uniform width, mean at one side its width is smaller and on the other side its width is larger. So once it will be straight again, so again you can provide the equal dimensions flyers. So these are going to be called as uniform width flyers, and these non-uniform steps of one staircase are going to be called as winders. And for the spiral staircase, all of the steps are winders. Then comes pitch or slope. It's very, you can say, a common definition, in which the inclination you are going to be discussed. The inclination of the line of nosing with respect to the floor or the landing is called as pitch. So what is nosing? Nosing is the edge of the connecting part where riser and treads are there. Okay, so if I'm going to draw it, one flight, thickness of the flight, it is actually a inclined slab. So above that you are providing the steps. Okay, so if you are going to be connect all of the edges, these tread and riser connecting point, so if you are going to be connect all of these are called as nosing. So just connect all of these points. So the line connecting all of the edges of the riser and treads mean all of the nosings of all the steps. This angle is going to be called as pitch or slope. Then comes waste slab. So simply concrete slab provided to support the steps is called as waste slab. So for one flight you are providing a different number of the steps. So in a simple space and without support you cannot provide these steps. So what you need to do, you need to provide a properly designed concrete waste slab. Okay, mean concrete slab. This slab is going to be reinforced. Okay, so if on one side it is cantilever, mean below that no pillars has been provided, so it will be a can be cantilever slab. But on the other side, so these are your steps. So here you may have the wall, let's suppose. So within the wall this slab can be inserted, and the support can be provided by inserting the slab, by supporting the slab weight, all of the stair and the steps weight into the wall or onto the wall. So your wall is a supporting element that is going to be support the whole of the staircase with the help of this properly designed concrete slab. Okay, so it can be reinforced in both of the directions. You can provide the reinforcement, okay, so in this direction and also along the length of the slab inclinedly at the top and at the bottom. So it can be properly designed with the help of reinforcement. Then comes proportioning of the steps. The riser and tread of each step should be uniform dimensions throughout the length of the stair. It's very important, because if you are going to change the dimension for one staircase or for one flight, so it can make again an inconvenience for the users. So generally it is not recommended. Whatever the dimensions you are going to decide, it should be same for all of the steps of one staircase. So for the proportioning different, you can say here you can see three criteria are enlisted, in which riser plus going should be whatever the dimension of the riser you are deciding, and for the going should be between 400 to 450 millimeter, means from 16 to 18 inches. So let's suppose if you are deciding the riser dimension as 6 inches and going as 10 inches, so it will be 16. Okay, so let's suppose it will be 18 inches going, so 18 plus 6 will be more than this 18. Okay, it will be equal to 16. Yes, so whatever it is, it will be 24. Okay, so and in a later case I put it at 16, so it will be 22. Okay, so it will be more than that limit, 16 to 18 inches. So either you have to be lesser the riser or the going. So let's suppose the going you are taken as 12. Okay, so then it will be 18 inches. So keeping this range 16 to 18, by adding up the going and the riser dimension, you have to be give the proportion, you have to be set the proportion. Then second criteria is 2 into riser dimension plus going in millimeters should be between 550 to 600, and in inches 22 to 24 inches. Similarly, if you are multiplying the going and the riser dimension, then it should be 40,000 to 41,000 in millimeters and 64 to 66 square inch. So either of three, anyone you can choose as your initial criteria for the proportioning of your riser and treads. Then general proportioning of the steps for different type of the buildings. The following dimensions of the going and riser are generally used for the different buildings. Like for the residential building, we prefer the dimension 250 into 160 millimeter, 10 into 6.5 inches. And in an industrial building, we are going to be consider going or tread dimension greater than 250 millimeter or 10 inches, and riser 190 millimeter, less than 190 millimeter, 7.5 inches. For the public buildings, generally 270 to 150 millimeters, 11 to 6 or 12 to 5.5. Okay, so these are can be considered as the general used dimensions. Then comes the width of the stair. So width of the stair is the lateral dimension. So once we are talking about the flight, so here you have steps. So in the lateral dimension, these are the widths. So this is called as width of the stair. So it should be such that a person going up can pass a person coming down without any difficulty. So generally stairs are built not like an escalator. Escalators are designed for the going up users separately and going down users separately. Okay, so similarly for the lifts are also designed to carry the load of the persons to going up separately and going down separately. But the stairs are generally designed to carry the load or just to be manage the persons or the users using the staircase going up and going down at the same time. Okay, the persons going up and the same time the persons can go down. Okay, so you have to decide the width of the stair in such a way that the persons going up and persons going down can manage themselves. Okay, depending upon the number of the users, the frequency of the users to use the staircase. Okay, so you can decide about the width. Like for the residential building, so this you can say frequency is very less, or probability of the persons going up and going down to manage themselves are or to be manage the space for those are very lesser. That frequency and probability is very less as compared to the commercial buildings, as compared to the hospital buildings. Okay, so those you can say probability and their frequency for the persons going up and down to meet each other and to occupy or manage the space along the width is very large. Okay, so you have to keep this thing in your mind, the purpose of the building and the number of the users using the staircase for the different type of the building. So that you have to keep in your mind while deciding about the width. So for that, keeping all the points or the consideration in our mind or the factors in our mind, we can or generally can be decided the minimum width of the stair for the residential building, that is 3 feet to 6 inches, and the minimum width for the public building. Okay, so public building is like hospital building, commercial building, more larger, it's 5 feet it is recommended. So length of the flight, next factor The number of the steps in a flight should not be more than 12, as I have told you. Okay, so just to be make convenient for the user, that the user cannot climb up for all of the steps. Let's suppose if 30 steps be there, 36 or 20 steps be there total, so it will be very difficult for a person that without resting at one place. And as I have told you, if we are going to be ignore that particular factor, mean the convenience of the user, then still the tread dimension is 1 feet. So if you are going to be providing the tread 1 feet, 2 feet, so if number of the steps are, let's suppose 24 or 26, then 26 feet is required in this particular dimension. This 26 feet is very large dimension, so generally it is not recommended. So we are going to restrict the length of the flight generally by keeping the number of the steps in one flight smaller. So generally it kept as the maximum 12 and the minimum 3 in one flight. Then comes width of the landing. The width of the landing should not be less than minimum recommended width of the stair. Headroom, I have told you, an adequate headroom must be provided, mean it should be less than 2.14 meter vertically in height and 1.5 meter at right angles to the line of the nosing. Okay, so for the length, for the width, and for the vertically provided space for this staircase is called as headroom, the total space. Then comes requirements of the goods stair. This slide is very important, so do not skip this slide in any case, okay, while you are preparing for your exams, okay, or any other thing. So this slide is going to be enlist you all of the final concluded recommendations for a good staircase. A good stair should fulfill the following requirements. Number 1, it should be well proportionate and designed with respect to all components of the staircase. It should be centrally located in the residential building, and the number of the stairs should be provided at corners of the commercial or the educational building. So generally you have also observed this thing, that the staircases for the educational buildings and for the commercial buildings are located at the corners or sides of one building, but for the residential building generally the staircases are located at the center. Flyers should be used, winders are discouraged, okay, those are not recommended to be used in more numbers. As I have told you in the previous slide, that if it is required only 1 or 2, okay, so if it is going to be giving you a curve for a flight, so if let's suppose the very first step you are providing straight, then at the curve you can provide just 2 or 3, okay, winders, so it will be okay. So the whole stair in terms of winders are discouraged and not recommended. Pitch of the stair should range between 25 to 40 degrees. That is very important. Minimum width of the stair is 3 feet 6 inches, mean 1. This is width of the stair, okay, in the front dimension. These are, if you are going to draw the plan view of one flight, so these are the treads you can see in plan view, and this is the width, okay, so this should be 1 meter, mean 3 feet to 6 inches. Number of the steps should be 3 to 12 in one flight, we have already discussed. Handrail should be at convenient height, 0.75 meters to 0.85 meters, 3 feet. Good material and the workmanship should be used for the construction purpose, just to be make a good alignment, good you can say inclined dimension, and proper supporting into the wall or towards the, and to connect your slab, that is the waist slab and the landing slab. Landing slab is also a concrete slab, or if it is a wooden or the metal stair, then proper connections are required to connect, to transfer the load from the landing to the flight. It should be ventilated and properly located. That's very important. Ventilation is a very, you can say, key design procedure or design criteria for any building, okay. So not only for the staircases but also each and every other component of the building, the ventilation is very important. So it should be properly located so that the users will not feel any difficulty to approach the staircases. Okay, so if they are in hurry or if they are be there, so they would not be lost. So they can locate the staircase very easily. Next slide is regarding your lab assignment number 2, that is the types of the stair. I am going to be discuss the lab assignment number 1 and lab assignment number 2 in your online session next week, inshallah. But briefly, with respect the types of the staircase, you have to be explain in your lab assignment with respect to the layouts, geometry, the straight flights, the quarter turn, the half turn, geometrical, circular, bifurcating and spiral. Here the next slide is about the geometrically placed types of the staircases, in which the first one is the straight flight, that is generally not recommended, but sometimes we can provide quarter turn stair 90 degrees. So you can provide a small landing over here, and if the space is lesser, you can provide the winders as what I have told you. So this is with the landing as like this. Then you have the half space landing, mean dog or the eye edged shear, mean half turn stair, usually called as. This is 180-degree turn. You may have an open well or open navel stair, half turn stair, but with a proper space in between. Here you cannot see the space, but if the proper space we are providing between the two 180-degree turn flights, it is called as half turn stair. Then in the next you can see this is also a 2/4 mean, but with 2 to 3 steps in between, 2 landings. So here landing, then again steps, again landing, and then again you are coming up. So this is called as geometrical stair, that is giving you more winders. Okay, completely. This is again half turn, mean 180-degree, but with winders in between. This is properly circular stair. Okay, so you can see. So gradually non-uniform. This is not properly winders, but gradually non-uniform width for the steps. Then comes bifurcating staircase. So it will be 90-degree, but on both of the sides. This is kind of a spiral where the steps can be provided like this. This is again going to show you how the spiral stairs can be provided. This is a kind of bifurcating. So here the start of the flight, okay, and once you are coming at the landing, this is the landing. So it bifurcates in 2 directions, 90-degree. Okay, then comes the floor level. Then the types of the stairs with respect to materials. So wooden stairs you have to discuss in your assignment, stone stairs, metal stair, RC stairs and brick stair. More detail we will discuss during online session. Now come to the last part of today's lecture, that is the numerical. That is very short numerical, it's not lengthier one, and only that kind of the numerical be regarding the proportioning. Okay, so for the stair proportioning, what data is required, what information is required to you, and then how you can proportion it depending upon that particular slide, requirements of a good staircase, in which we have enlisted all of the proportions of the components, different components of the staircase in one slide. So just using those information, we can start with the stair proportioning. But before starting the stair proportioning, we need a certain data, given data or the problem statement. So for that, for which type of the building we have to be go for the proportioning, that's very important. So for that building, story height is given, for which the stairs are needed to be proportioned. Story height is 2.62 meters. Total goings, okay, all of the treads you are adding up, and the total going dimension wise length, okay, is in horizontal, you can say in one straight dimension, it is 2.75 meter. But you have to find the number of the flights appropriate you have to find the number of the steps appropriate. You have to find the width of the landing, if any. Okay, if any landing you are referring and you are suggesting for your design of the staircase, then the width of the landing should also be suggested. Size of the riser and tread, of course, matters a lot. Types of the building is residential, that's very important. If I am going to change the type of the building, then for that you have to be careful about the dimensioning, means for the riser and treads, for the flight, for the width of the landing, for the width of the flight also. Okay, you can change the dimensions depending upon the type of the building. So for residential, you have to keep in your mind simple buildings, residential building, houses. So keeping the initial dimensions, mean in the slide in which we have discussed about the riser and tread dimension, their criteria. So their proportioning criteria are there. So keeping all those in your mind, you can start with any dimension. That is the supposed dimension for the residential building. The trial size of the steps you have to be decide. So it generally be taken as 25 centimeter for the tread and 16 centimeter for the riser. Okay, so here you can say this is the trial. It can be revised later on depending upon our calculations. So keeping these two within the same, you can say, story height for this building, that was 2.62 meters. The number of the riser can be calculated. If total story height is 2.62 meters, then the number of the steps equal to 16 centimeter riser, that will be the vertical dimension for the riser. Forget about the tread at this time. So if the number of the risers are needed to be calculated, then the number of the riser will be the first vertical dimension, then second one, then third one, including like this. Okay, so if we talk about the incline dimension, okay, if one flight we are going to be consider at start, then these will be the number of the steps, and this will be the story height. And what is the definition of the story height for the proportioning of the staircase? I have told you earlier, this is the start of the finished floor level of the ground floor to the finished floor level of the first floor. If the ceiling height was given, that's very important to be noted. You note kar lein aap log. If the ceiling height is given in the problem statement or you given data, then what you have to do? You cannot use the ceiling height directly. Ceiling height is the distance from the finished floor level of the ground floor till the bottom of the roof slab that you can see while standing inside any room. Okay, whatever you are seeing at the bottom, that surface, this distance is called as ceiling height. So above that, I have told you the thickness of the slab is needed to be incorporated, to be included, and the thickness of the floor finishes of the upper floor is also going to be incorporated for the total story height. So total story height is this one, okay, and your ceiling height is less than story height. So you have to add these thicknesses into it. So generally slab thickness is considered as 4 inch to 6 inches, and the finished floor thickness is as 2 to 3 inches. So keeping this general range into your mind, so anyone you can select, you can suppose if the ceiling height is given, and you can add into it to get the story height. Then this total number of the risers can be calculated. The addition of all the vertical dimensions of these risers will give you the total story height. Okay, so the total story height divided by the riser dimension that already we have supposed, you will get 16.25 dividing it as. So your number of risers comes out to be, by rounding it up at larger number, these will be 17. You can round it up at smaller, you can round it up at larger, it's up to you. So here we have rounded it up at larger side 17. As number of the risers are more than 12, okay, as in the recommendations and the requirement of a good staircase, we have discussed that the number of the steps in one flight should be maximum of 12 and minimum of 3. So it comes out to be 17 total number of the steps. Okay, so if this is the particular case, then for the flight you have to be divide the number of the steps in 2 flights at least. Okay, because we need the number of the steps less than 12 for one flight. So if you are going to be dividing it equally into a number of the steps, then or in any numbers, you have to be provide the 2 number of the flights at least. You can make it more, it depends on you. Let's suppose if you are providing the 3 number of the flights will be okay. Some student says that I am going to design my staircase by providing 3 number of the flights, but you have to be consider, you have to be very you can say think or consider this thing, see this thing very carefully, that if you are dividing the 17 into 3 parts number of the steps, then the minimum should not be less than 3. Okay, more than 3. The number of the steps in one flight should be more than 3. Then riser value, a number of steps in each flight, if you are dividing it equally, so those will be 8. So 8 by 8, 16. So 1 you can provide in either flight. Now riser value, now revising this, it will not be 16, because by using the 16 you have divided it with the total story height, and whatever the value comes or the number comes, you have rounded it up. Now with this actual number of the steps, you have to revise the riser value again by dividing it with the number of the steps. So by considering it 8, so 8 plus 8 is equal to 16. So if you are considering the number of the steps by rounding it up from lower side, so these will be 16. Okay, so now the actual dimension is 16.375 centimeter. It's not 16 centimeter for the riser. So keep this riser value with you. This is the final, depending upon the total number of the steps. 16, 8 in one slide and flight, and 8 in the second flight. Total number of the steps 16. So now story height divided by number of the steps will be the riser value. Okay. Then tread width. Now we can decide about the tread dimension. The tread dimension at start, we have the dimension. Okay, that means tread into riser. It should be equal to 400 centimeter. Okay, that's criteria we have discussed already. That if you are going to be multiply our tread into riser, then these value should be 400 centimeters. So if 400 centimeter is the total one, so what you can do, the riser dimension is with us, you can divide your riser dimension with this total and you can get the tread dimension. So it comes out to be this actual dimension is needed. Okay, whatever you have calculated. So 400 divided by 16.375, it is 24.54. So you can again round it up as 25 centimeter. So it is same. Okay, that we have considered generally. It may be different. Okay, so it doesn't matter, it may be different at here. So till now we have decided, concluded about the number of the steps, what data or the concluded proportions data is with us in the last slide. Number of the steps, riser dimension and tread dimension. Okay, these 3 parameters we have proportioned and we have designed earlier. Now number of the goings in each flight. Okay, this is very important. How? Because if you will see one flight and one landing, and we have decided this is the finished roll level of the ground level, this is the finished roll level of the floor. So here you are going to be start with the first riser at the junction of the floor level till the start of the flight. So one riser, one tread. This is going to be give you a one step, complete step. Then one riser and one tread. For the second step, then one riser, one tread. Third number of the step. So keep on these steps like this. So what about what do you think about the last step? Now, the last step will give you riser as it is, that is going to be give you exactly equal to the story height, I mean till the finished roll level. But the tread will be a part of the landing. It will not be a separate component. Okay, that's very important to understand. This is very interesting, you can say, information and observation, that your number of the risers are always one more than the number of the treads in your staircase. If a total number of the steps are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, okay, your number of the risers are same, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. But what about the tread? Your tread will be 1, 2, 3 in the plan view. If you are going to draw the plan view, then your treads will always be one less than the number of steps. Okay, so in elevation view, the risers will be the same as the number of the steps. So 3, 4, 5. These are the treads number. This sixth one tread will be a part of the finished floor level or the landing. If it is the first flight, then landing will be there. So this last tread will be a part of the landing. If you are going to draw in plan view, then you are going to draw this is as a whole landing and then this first step. So this is going to give you the riser over here at the edge, but here the tread, last tread will be a part of the landing. Okay, so like this. So this will be a total landing. Your landing is going to be start from here. Okay, so this is the slab of the landing that you are going to be provided. So in this particular way, your last tread will be a part of the landing. So what conclude over here, that your for your particular number of the steps, your number of the risers will be the same as number of the steps, but your number of the treads will be one less than the number of the riser. So number of the goings, mean treads in one flight will be one less than that, it will be 7. So total going for one step. Why we are interested in the number of the treads in one flight? Because the total dimension we want to determine in from here to here. This will be the dimension that is actually the total going for the steps in one flight. Same for the other flight, because the same number of the steps we have provided. If the number of the steps you have proportioned and you have designed differently for the different flights, then you have to be count, or you have to calculate the total going for the steps separately. But here for this particular case, we have provided the same number of the steps, so whatever the total going, mean this horizontal dimension you will get, that will be the same for both. So this is another answer. Other than this is the fourth one, you can say answer. This is fourth, this is first, this is second, this is third. Okay, now a fifth one is the width of the landing. So width of the landing will be the total going minus the total going for the steps. Okay, so this will be, if here the wall be there and your landing slab is inserted inside the wall. Okay, so this is the brick wall, let's suppose. So here you have the total, this total width of the landing, mean this is needed to be calculated, width of the landing from the edge of the wall till the last riser. Okay, so this is the fifth, mean this width of the landing. So how you can get that? If the total going is known to you from here till here, okay, so that going for the steps you have calculated earlier, subtract from the total going this, it will be the width of the landing. Okay, so it comes out to be 2.75 minus 1.75, it's 1 meter. Okay, so we can apply the check for the riser and the tread dimension at the end by using the other criteria. One criteria we have used, riser into tread is multiplied by tread is equal to 400 centimeters. Okay, so this is the second criteria in which 2r plus going value is given. So it should be greater than 55 centimeter and should be less than 60. So what you are getting for your case, whatever you have calculated in the last slide, previous slide, 16.375 for the riser. This is 2 times riser plus the going or the tread. So it comes out to be 57.75. So it is exactly in between 55 and 60. Okay, so it may comes out to be exactly 55 because equal sign is there, it will be okay. So you may get the value equal to 60, any value in between, you equal to 55 and 60, and in between will be okay. You have to write this okay sign with your design and your proportion of riser and tread, that your riser and tread dimensions you have calculated earlier are okay. But let's suppose you are getting for your case less than 55, mean you are getting here 50 centimeter. So then what you have to do? You have to either revise the riser dimension or the tread dimension. It's up to you. So whatever you are revising, accordingly the other dimensions, I mean number 4, number 5, that may affect. Okay, so check it again, all of your calculations after revising your riser and tread dimension. Okay, so that's very important.